Hi everybody. I've decided to do a recording here rather than do a video. It's kind of dark outside and I'm out for a walk. I want to put forth some thoughts on the interesting things that have been happening during COVID. The COVID Chronicles. Okay. The COVID Chronicles. Just when you thought you were going crazy. The COVID Chronicles. Okay. I was in a chat room and we were talking about, Trump. Get away from COVID. I gave my opinion on what I thought of these people who raided the American Capitol. They believe that Donald Trump was cheated out of a win of the American election, that he should get another year because they believe he won. There was election fraud. My opinion of them is they are misguided freedom fighters. They truly believe in what they are doing. Now, a lot of them, I think, intended to protest outside the Capitol. Others had more aggressive plans to invade the Capitol building. Now, in any group of people, you're going to have people who are dedicated to a cause, that want to do the intelligent thing, and then you have the ones that are the rattle-rousers and the ones that are just outright crazed. Because from some of the video I saw of these people inside the Capitol building, raiding the Capitol building, they scared the hell out of me. They were not what you would call sane people. But I still think they really and truly believed, and still do believe, that Donald Trump won the election, as he has stated, that he won the election and that it was stolen from him. And so they were there to correct a wrong from their point of view. And they believed that what they were doing was right. That includes the crazies and the ones that maybe just wanted to talk to the officials. But then that's not how democracy works. You cannot simply raid the Capitol. This is what happens in third world countries. But let us not forget, these people truly believe that an illegal act had taken place, voter fraud, resulting in the legitimate winner of the election, from their point of view, Donald Trump, was cheated. What would many people in a democracy, even here in Canada, do if we really believed that there was serious voter fraud? Believing that this is a takeover from the legitimate winner of an election, and a takeover of a government. From these people's point of view, this was a takeover by the government. Look, if you take everything here and look at it, this is bloody scary. And by the way, I do not support them in their beliefs. I do not believe Donald Trump won. I do not believe there was voter fraud. I've looked at a lot of information, and I'm telling you, I don't see it. I just don't see it. But once again, we got to keep in mind that these people believe that voter fraud resulted in Donald Trump losing the election, being stripped of the election, being stripped of the presidency from their point of view. I believe that what we saw on last Wednesday is just the beginning of the insanity. There may be very well enough of these people remaining out there that might try something really, truly crazy. Then what's going to happen? Will Joe Biden be able to be sworn in the usual way, at the usual place, in front of the Capitol? Will that be safe? Because all it takes is some cuckoo with some homemade, God forbid, grenade launcher or something. There's cuckoos out there. Where there's a will, there's a way. It's a scary thing. And there's more to my point here. This is the United States, the biggest democracy in the world. There are crazy people in every country, in every democracy. And here in Canada, we have the Party of Canada. We also have the Proud Boys. Same thing down in the States, the Proud Boys. This is a serious thing that has happened because it will wake up these crazy people, as I said, the Party of Canada, the Proud Boys, the neo-Nazis, and the like. And we will see problems from these people here in Canada. Back in 2019, the last year we had before COVID, here in Hamilton at the Hamilton Pride celebration, the Party of Canada, Proud Boys, and neo-Nazis showed up, and it was Antifa, the anti-fascist, I forget what the rest of it stands for, anti-fascist league, that stood up and stopped these people from attacking people at the Pride celebrations and harming people by establishing a legal peace line and letting these people know that no, you will not cross. And some of these people were actually from the States. When I say came up, I mean they did come up from the States. And these people also went around to Pride celebrations. That's a train in the background. These people went around to various Pride celebrations in the area and disrupted them. Their plan was to turn over concession stands and terrify people, which they did do in Hamilton. The whole point was to make Pride an event that was too frightening, too physically dangerous to attend, and therefore shut down future Pride celebrations. These people also attacked Toronto Pride, Toronto World Pride celebrations. And this is what they are. This is what they do. And with the problems that exist, that are taking place in the States, with Donald Trump getting on there claiming that the election was stolen from them, it just brought out these crazy people. And we're going to see problems. We're going to see it. And with COVID, you've got these people that are denying COVID, and you're going to get these same cuckoos that I just mentioned rallying people up to march in the streets and deny COVID and fight for their right not to wear a mask and spread COVID to the whole world. Crazy, 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 crazy. Well, I've said what I think I want to say, other than please, folks, wear a mask. Stay home. Only go out to work, go shopping, or go for a walk in the evening when there's not too many people around. And you're going to reduce the chances of you getting what else? COVID-19. Yeah. And there's people out there that actually say they had no idea that something like this could happen. They think of these films where there's a virus that gets out all over the world, and there's been a couple of movies like that. I remember back in 1986 watching TV with my mom, and was it a documentary or something like, we call it a documentary. We're watching this show, and they said that a global pandemic, it was not a matter of if it could happen, it was a matter of when. Well, we live in the day and time of not when, but it's happening. So don't be a jackass. Put on a mask and observe social distancing. I want to end this with a speech made by Arnold Schwarzenegger that hit me right in the spot, right along the same line that I'm thinking. And I found it very refreshing. If you haven't heard it, you'll find it refreshing as well.
As an immigrant to this country, I would like to say a few words to my fellow Americans and to our friends around the world about the events of recent days. Now, I grew up in Austria. I'm very aware of Kristallnacht, or the Night of Broken Glass. It was a night of rampage against the Jews carried out in 1938 by the Nazi equivalent of the Proud Boys. Wednesday was the day of broken glass right here in the United States. The broken glass was in the windows of the United States Capitol. But the mob did not just shatter the windows of the Capitol. They shattered the ideals we took for granted. They did not just break down the doors of the building that housed American democracy, they trampled the very principles on which our country was founded. Now, I grew up in the ruins of a country that suffered the loss of its democracy. I was born in 1947, 2 years after the Second World War. Growing up, I was surrounded by broken men drinking away their guilt over their participation in the most evil regime in history. Not all of them were rabid anti-Semites or Nazis. Many just went along, step by step, down the road. They were the people next door. Now, I've never shared this so publicly because it is a painful memory. But my father would come home drunk once or twice a week, and he would scream and hit us and scare my mother. I did not hold him totally responsible because our neighbor was doing the same thing to his family, and so was the next neighbor over. I heard it with my own ears and saw it with my own eyes. They were in physical pain from the shrapnel in their bodies and in emotional pain from what they saw or did. It all started with lies and lies and lies and intolerance. So being from Europe, I have seen firsthand how things can spin out of control. I know there is a fear in this country and all over the world that something like this could happen right here. Now, I do not believe it is, but I do believe that we must be aware of the dire consequences of selfishness and cynicism. President Trump sought to overturn the results of an election, and of a fair election. He sought a coup by misleading people with lies. My father and our neighbors were misled also with lies, and I know where such lies lead. President Trump is a failed leader. He will go down in history as the worst president ever. The good thing is that he soon will be as irrelevant as an old tweet. But what are we to make of those elected officials who have enabled his lies and his treachery? I will remind them of what Teddy Roosevelt said. Patriotism means to stand by the country. It does not mean to stand by the president. Now, John F. Kennedy wrote a book called Profiles in Courage. A number of members of my own party, because of their own spinelessness, would never see their names in such a book, I guarantee you. They are complicit with those who carried the flag of self-righteous insurrection into the Capitol. But it did not work. Our democracy held firm. Within hours, the Senate and the House of Representatives were doing the people's business and certifying the election of President-elect Biden. What a great display of democracy. Now, I grew up Catholic. I went to church, to Catholic school. I learned the Bible and my catechism and all of this. And from those days, I remember a phrase that is relevant today: a servant's heart. It means serving something larger than yourself. See, what we need right now from our elected representatives is a public servant's heart. We need public servants that serve something larger than their own power or their own party. We need public servants who will serve higher ideals, the ideals in which this country was founded, the ideals that other countries look up to. Now, over the past few days, friends from all over the world have been calling me distraught and worried about us as a nation. One woman was in tears about America, wonderful tears of idealism about what America should be. Those tears should remind us of what America means to the world. Now, I've told everyone who has called that as heartbreaking as all of this is, America will come back from these dark days and shine our lights once again. Now, you see this sword? This is the Conan sword. Now, here's the thing about swords. The more you temper a sword, the stronger it becomes. The more you pound it with a hammer and then heat it in the fire and then thrust it into the cold water and then pound it again and plunge it into the fire and into the water, the more often you do that, the stronger it becomes. I'm not telling you all this because I wanted to become an expert sword maker, but our democracy is like the steel of this sword. The more it is tempered, the stronger it becomes. Our democracy has been tempered by wars, injustices, and insurrections. I believe, as shaken as we are by the events of recent days, we will come out stronger because we now understand what can be lost. We need reforms, of course, so that this never ever happens again. We need to hold accountable the people that brought us to this unforgivable point. And we need to look past ourselves, our parties and disagreements, and put our democracy first. And we need to heal together from the drama of what has just happened. We need to heal not as Republicans or as Democrats, but as Americans. Now, to begin this process, no matter what your political affiliation is, I ask you to join me in saying to President-elect Biden, President-elect Biden, we wish you great success as our president. If you succeed, our nation succeeds. We support you with all our hearts as you seek to bring us together. And to those who think they can overturn the United States Constitution, know this: you will never win. President-elect Biden, we stand with you today, tomorrow, and forever in defense of our democracy from those who would threaten it. May God bless all of you, and may God bless America.